Hey guys, it's Ned from Comics Connection again. I've got Ben here. He's one of our TOs from the store, and we're going to go through opening packs for and building a deck for our upcoming Aether Revolt League. Take it away, Ben.
All right, guys, how's it going? Like Ned said, I'm going to be starting opening packs and trying to see what kind of pulls I get. Like Don, I am going to start with Kaladesh. I may not get as lucky with my pulls as apparently Don does, but we'll see what we can do. What I usually like to do, again, take out the token land card. I usually start off automatically by separating by color. I firmly believe that in any set, especially when you are doing something like this, colors tend to support themselves one way or another. And then some of the colors combined together will support themselves, each other as well. So starting off, we came in with some decent cards. Some good draw, really good removal in red, Furious Reprisal. Our rare was Aether Reservoir. While it's not a bad card, it is not the most ideal one for playing in a limited format like this, but you can still make it up by getting some decent commons and uncommons, like Gear Seeker Serpent is a really good pull to have in this. It has evasion, it can cheat its way out by tapping artifacts, or rather costing less for each artifact you control. So all in all, we're not starting off too badly here. So we're going to move on to Aether Revolt, see what we get. Take those out. Got a Green Wheel Liberator, has Revolt. When it enters the battlefield, it gets 2+1/+1 counters if a permanent left the battlefield that you control. So that's not a bad Revolt card to get right there. And again, we're going to go back to separating by colors. It seems like we're getting more black, blue than we're getting of any other color, to be honest. And so we're going to have to take a strong look at those colors to see what we can make out of it. Like Don said before, this is an artifact heavy deck, so most of the cards will support artifacts in one way or another. So other than that, blue's strong right now. Black has some really good evasion creatures, menace, some death touchers, some energy support too, which is really nice. So we'll see what we get out of our last pack, and hopefully we can keep that going, have a good pull in those colors at least. And we go to the last one. And what do we got here? Take those out, and Hope of Girapur as a rare, which is a good early bomb actually, and it can sacrifice itself whenever it deals damage and make it so your opponent can't cast non-creature spells. So that's really good stall right there actually. And we got our first dual color card, so we're going a little late into getting that, but still nothing too bad to be honest. It seems our red, black, and blue are going to be our strongest colors at the moment. And maybe that's where we're going to have to go with it. We actually got some really good counter spells as well. So after I do this, I take a good look at the ratio of cards. As much as I would love to run green and white because they have so few and because the support for them won't be as strong, they're probably going to sit this one out, which leaves me with black, red, blue, and artifacts. And luckily, my dual color card is a blue and red card with Improvise. So that's +2. So where do we go with this? Well, the first thing to look for, he talked about Bread, looking for bombs, removal, evasion, attackers, defenders. I kind of go in a different way with mine, but not too far off the beaten path, to be honest. I look for bombs, obviously, and then I look for things to support the bombs. Gear Seeker Serpent is a strong bomb right there. That is a great little card. And so if I'm going to play Gear Seeker Serpent and then I'm going to play my Improvise dude, I'm going to look for other cards that can kind of help them get where they need to go. So we have good card draw with Glimmer of Genius. And we also have 2 negates, ironically enough, and we also got Metallic Rebuke. So we actually have some really good counter spells in this. And while counter spell decks aren't always the strongest, if you can support it well enough, they actually can work. So what I'm looking at here is the chance to make a decent blue-red artifact deck that's mostly control. So we have negates and Metallic Rebuke for counter spells. We have Hungry Flames, which is good for a straight removal and dealing damage to the opponent. We have Chandra's Revolution, which is good damage spell. Deals 4 damage to target creature, and then you can tap target land, and it doesn't untap during its untap step. You also have Furious Reprisal, which is a good burn card as well. And then we have 2 Destructive Tamperings. Like you said, this is a very artifact-heavy deck. So Destructive Tampering, it can destroy target artifact or target creature without flying creatures without flying can't block this turn. A big problem in a limited format like this, flyers tend to take the game because you don't have a ton of answers for the flyers. Well, we have our answers, Destructive Tampering. And then that leaves me with making sure that creature-wise I can still support my board, get my bombs out, and then kind of win the game that way. So we're going to throw in Weldfast's Wingsmith. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, it gets flying, so that's evasion right there, the flying that we talked about. And then Dispersal Technician. When it enters the battlefield, I can return the target artifact to its owner's hand. So if they drop one of those big artifacts that you can't handle, Dispersal Technician is going to get rid of it for you. And then that turns us to our artifacts. We have Hope of Girapur, which is a great control card, and Prophetic Prism, which is great for draw. So that gives us 2 spells that we can draw for. And then we have Fireforger's Puzzle Knot, which isn't the best in this instance, but it can be useful. We have Foundry Assembler, has Improvise, which can be good, but we're not running a lot of artifacts, so Improvise may not be our best option. We have Prizefighter Construct, which is a 6/2, which is actually a pretty big bomb to kind of drop on the field and then have them deal with a 6/2. Yeah, if something with 2 power can kill it, but since we're running a kind of heavy removal, we actually may find ourselves in better positions to run cards like that. And then that leaves us with Renegade Maps and Self-Assemblers. Self-Assemblers is not a bad card. It's better if you have more Self-Assemblers, because what it does is whenever you play it, you get to look for another Self-Assembler. So running one, okay. Running more than one if you have it, well worth it. And then we have Renegade Map, which is land fixing. This is a good one to keep in mind if you decide you want to run 3 colors. If you have one of these, this is the perfect card to draw. It's a perfect card to have. You can play it in any deck, and what it does, sacrifice it, and then look your library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand. So it's automatic mana fixing for you. So looking at what we have here, I'm going to keep the black to the side, because if I find that maybe this isn't supporting itself as much as I hoped it would, I might have to go add another color. But we have, I believe, 17 cards here, which is, like Don said, where we really need to be. 17 non-land cards, 13 regular land cards. So I want to count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We're running 18. The unfortunate part of this kind of build is it does have a high mana curve. So things are going to cost a little more to actually get going. And you don't have a lot of early turn creatures. So you may, if you're uncomfortable with playing a high curve and think that it won't work out best, look to a 3rd color to help you get your creatures out, or at least get early ones. And so I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go look to black. We're going to go 3 color with this. We're going to keep Gear Seeker. We're going to keep Maverick Thopterus, because those are really good cards. Now we're going to go look at black. We have Alley Stranger, which is really good. It's a 2/3 with Menace for 3 mana. We actually got 2 of those, which isn't bad at all. And we got a decent removal spell along with this, Die Young. You get to choose a creature, get 2 energy, and pay any amount. You can give that creature -1/-1 for each energy you paid. And then you have Aether Poisoner, which is a 1/1 with Death Touch. You get 2 energy, and then you can pay 2 and get a 1/1 colorless servo. So looking a little more at this, I think this is a lot kind of better even card to have. And we're going to throw in one last one, Fortuitous Find, which is return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand, or return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So you can choose one or both. So let's say you get Gear Seeker out and they get rid of Gear Seeker. Well, now you can return it with Fortuitous Find. So now this seems a little more in line with what I'd like to have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards. So one more card. We're going to actually take out one of this. We'll keep the destructive tampering in. In fact, we're going to throw in a renegade map because with 3 colors, we need to get that land. We're going to throw in prophetic prism to get us card draw. And we're going to throw in hope of Girper just because it's a 1/1 with flying. We'll take out a destructive tampering because really we only need one. Most of these games it comes down to, yeah, it stalls out a bit when you're playing, but eventually you're going to get to a point where you just need to get rid of one thing in order to get that win in, and oftentimes you may need destructive tampering only once in a game. So counting up the cards again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I'm actually comfortable with sticking with the 18, even though it's a little high in terms of overall mana costs, because I have enough draw and I have enough early turn removal that I think I can actually hold them off until I can drop my bombs like Gear Seeker Serpent. Now, when it comes to choosing your mana, 3-color tends to be a little more difficult than 2-color, just because the odds of drawing the exact land you need when you don't have dual lands can be very difficult. So, like Don did, we divide them up into colors, count the mana symbols in each. So blue has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So blue tends to cost a little more. It also has some of the early turn ones that are really, really good. And black has a few of our early bombs as well. So in 12 lands, in this case, I'll actually do 13 lands and go to 31 cards. I'll probably do, let me think about this now. 5 blue, 4 black, and 4 red. And I think that should be good enough in order to get the deck set up. And I believe that's all I'm going to do for this deck.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Ben. So what we're going to do now is Ben's going to add his lands, and we're going to film a quick match between Don and Ben, just so you get an idea of how these league matches go. Again, the league is going to start next Wednesday at 6 o'clock.